Today on a review we have one of the legendary small headphones that is on everyone's recommendations list. Creative Aurvana Live, aka CAL. Let's have a look. Hi guys, my name is Nick and welcome to Journey Through Sound. If you wish to jump to different chapters, use the links in the description below. Let's unpack the package. It comes in a display box, and inside of the box we can find 6.3mm adapter or 1/4 inch adapter, as well as 1.5 meters or 6 feet extension cord. One travel pouch made out of cloth, and Creative Aurvana headphones themselves. These have quite a bit of history behind them. They were developed by Japanese Foster Electronics as an OEM for various different brands. Denon, Creative, Emu. Some models were made all plastic and some had wooden cups. I've seen Emu variants with walnut in the past, recently Purple Heart on mass drop. Overall, design and look was always very similar. Same headband and the cup shape. Aurvana Live is a small closed over-ear consumer headphone that can be found for around $60 on Amazon. Unit in the review is my own, purchased from Creative directly. Looking at the build, this is built cheaply. Thin plastic on a headband and yokes, as well as the plastic caps. There is nothing wrong with use of plastics. It's common in this type of products. It's just made in a way that it does not look sturdy. In comparison, Audio-Technica headphones are built like tanks. I'm actually afraid that if I drop these out of like 1.5 or 5 feet height, that they will break. I'm not even gonna try it. They're shiny and try to look more premium. In my mind, they still look cheap. Pads are actually okay, made out of pleather, PU leather, soft, comfortable and replaceable. Non-detachable rubber wire, 4 feet long or 1.2 meters, terminated at 3.5mm jack. Overall, whole headphone is very light and it can be worn for a long periods of time without any strain on your neck. Head strap has a bit of padding and on touch feels nice, but in practice, because headphone is so light, it barely gets used. Fit is questionable. It's a sealed over-ear or around-ear headphone, but it's rather small. Basically, if your ears don't fit inside of the ear cup, it becomes a on-ear and then the comfort is questionable. I had a couple of people trying them and they complained about comfort after 30 to 60 minutes as it was pressing on their ears. My ears fit, so I don't have any issues. You would assume that these, being small, are portable, but they are not. They cannot fold in any way, or even cups cannot rotate enough to lay down flat. They come with cloth pouch, but overall size does not go down. In comparison, Audio-Technica M40X or M50X folds pretty nicely and takes less space than these do. With all that said, what makes these so special then? Well, transducers or driver does. It uses 40mm dynamic driver with biocellulose diaphragm with neodymium magnets. It's quite similar to paper cone speaker drivers. This is quite unique as it's not seen often in this kind of cheap products. Usually they have diaphragm made of mylar. It's transparent plastic looking. There are a number of products that use biocellular drivers, likes of Denon, Fostex, Emus, Sony, AudioQuest and even ZMF. I'm not going to go into too much tech specs, impedance sensitivity, etc. Here are the specs on the side and you can have a look. All I'm going to say, they're not difficult to drive, easily powered from a phone, player or any kind of amp. Sound isolation is solid, not great. There is no dampening inside of the cups and they are made out of thin plastic. To touch on testing methodology, I've had these for years now, I would say, and I've listened to them on various different types of sources. For this review in particular, I paired them with the Topping D70 DAC, which is AKM based DAC, as well as SNSL M8, which is ESS Saber DAC based, and listened on 3 different amplifiers: THX 789, Topping L30 and JDS Labs Atom. I've compared them against similarly priced closed headphones that I had at hand: Aurvana Special Edition, Audio-Technica M40X and MSR7. I won't go into too much details in this video, as I intend to create a separate one for comparisons. Sound signature Creative Aurvana is actually quite great. It's right on the spot for consumer preference. It has slight V-shape, primarily because of the bass boost and a little bit more energy above 10K. Bass extends all the way down to 10 Hz with slight roll-off below 50 Hz. It's boosted as well, so it feels quite present and punchy. Upper bass hump extends to around 200 Hz. I can't go into too much critique in this price range. All I will say, for my liking, there is a bit too much of it, and it bleeds into lower mids. Also, side effect of amount of it is observable decay and thick character of the bass. Like I said, typical consumer sweet spot. Mids are even and well presented, with a nice rise to 3K. They don't actually sound much recessed compared to being overwhelmed by the bass. Highs are quite detailed and very fast for this price range. Resolution is better than many headphones that cost up to $150. They have a few spikes and dips, but overall there's not much to complain about. Soundstage is very good for a closed headphone. It has solid sense of width and depth. Of course, not on par with higher end headphones, but very good overall. Imaging is good, but not great. Some sounds are noticeable to come from far right or left, not a precise location. But considering that far more expensive headphones fail at that, I can't take that as a negative. They're also good for gaming. I tried them with a couple of FPS games and experience was great. Impact of sound effects and fine details result in a good precision and positioning enemies. Pairing wise, they can be revealing of the source signal. Straight from the phone, sound was okay, but add good DAC and amp and you will hear the difference immediately. When I say good, I mean low to mid level devices like DACs and amps, which are around $100. Aurvana Live can scale up to devices that are in $200 price range, I would say. Above that, there is no observable benefits. Lastly, to touch on EQing. If you like to try, in my mind, they could be improved by lowering down a little bit bass bleed for around 150 Hz and as well peaks at 10K for around 3 dBs. They respond quite well to this change because it's subtracting one. Usually when you want to add bass and you're going against the natural driver tuning, byproduct can be increased bass distortion. As a PC user, I use Equalizer APO and I will attach profile parameters for you to try out. In conclusion, I think Creative Aurvana Live is a great little closed back headphone and I highly recommend it. It's the best sounding cheap closed back headphone in up to $100 range and even above it. Aside from owning one, actually two, I own the special edition as well. I've purchased them and gave them as presents gift before, like the one that I gave to my brother. That should tell you how much I like them. I haven't compared them much with other headphones in this video, as I intend to create a separate one for comparisons. So watch out for that one. And that's about it. I hope you find this video informative and thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.